Hello everybody, welcome back to another Square More video. As you've noticed, the beard is gone. Isn't that quite upsetting? My friends are very upset for some reason, but I don't care. I'm here with another tier list related video. This time we're going to be going over the Bahrain F1 Grand Prix. As you can see, I'm an F1 fan. I'm a sufferer of science. And that's pretty much what I'm going to say. I'll be just doing my ratings of the race for all 20 drivers. There's probably going to be some stuff that I forget, but here we go. Got a tier list. Just got it from 10 out of 10, like what I would rate the performance out of 10. Got the whole grid here. I believe it's the whole grid. If we're missing anyone, that'll be a bit upsetting. But let me start off with the obvious decision. The one and only 10 is this man. Literally, as once again, a flawless weekend. Only thing you could say is, you know, Leclerc's Q2 lap was quicker than his Q3 lap, but you don't know if you count that as more. Could Leclerc have done more? Could any of... But he did a Grand Slam. You know, if you do a Grand Slam, that's pretty much an automatic 10. And then now I'll just do the normal order. Or I could... Oh, no, I could do the position order. But then I'd have to remind myself. Right. Obviously, second, Perez. Perez, I'm going to give a 7. The race drive was good, but I feel like he shouldn't have been qualifying 5th. Not only having both the Ferraris, who we know were the second quickest car, but then also having Russell, who did a great lap. That's possibly more credit to him. But yeah, I think over 7th is fair. 6th for your team in qualifying, you were 20 seconds off the race, but you did get second. That's literally, your team can't ask for more. Third place, Sainz. Sainz, I'm going to give an 8. It would be a 9, but I personally think his qualifying should have been better. He did something in his first sector because he set the best middle and it was like 3 tenths off, so I don't know what he was doing there. Next up, Leclerc I'm going to put level. Good qualifying. Probably would have been ahead of Sainz in the race if he didn't have his brake issue, but you know, that happens. And also a message for the Ferrari fans of Sainz and Leclerc: stop going after one another. They're together for one more year. We know Sainz is leaving, we know Leclerc is staying. You don't have to keep going, ow, they've kept the wrong driver. Ow, Sainz. I mean, you know, I'm happy to see Sainz doing well, and I will never forgive Leclerc for replacing Kimi, but that's just a personal jokey grudge. Anyway, now we have George Russell. Where is he? There he is. George Russell. I think it'll be in the region of 8.5. I think he also deserves an 8, which possibly means I'm gonna have to shift some people down. But he had a great qualifying, and actually no, I'm gonna give him a 9 because he just did much better than Hamilton all weekend. Qualified third, which not many people expected, compared to 9th for Hamilton. We'll get on to him in a bit later. And yeah, maximised race performance. I think the Mercedes just doesn't work well on the hards, like compared to the Ferrari. And yeah, he just did much better. Next up, we have Lando Norris. Lando Norris, I'm just gonna slide into 7th as well. Qualify. I mean, you could just say, oh, he should have qualified ahead of the Aston Martin something, but no. I don't think he could have done any better in the race. And yeah, I think he's safe for now. This man is getting a 4. I know it was only a 2 temp difference, but still, hearing 2 temps, you're like, okay, yeah. But then you hear 3rd to 9th, and that's just not good enough for someone of his caliber. I think he knows that for a fact, and it just took him a while to get going in the race as well. You didn't really hear anything from him at all. He passed Alonso a couple of times whenever Alonso was just there. And I don't know, I don't even remember if he got past Piastri on track or if... I'm pretty sure he did. And then I think he was just pit stops, he was just ahead. So yeah, not much more to say than that. Speaking of Piastri, I'm going to give him a 6. He was just a bit off his teammate. I would say, I would say 8th is probably what they expected to get. You know, with Hamilton underperforming, Norris just did a standard performance, I'd say. You know, 7th and 8th is probably what McLaren were expecting. So yeah, I think 6 is just a fair place. Fernando Alonso. Fernando is going to get a 7. Great qualifying. Just whether he could have done more of it in the actual race is a different question. But yeah, he's a hard one to rate. He's kind of stuck in no man's land. He was 20 seconds off Piastri, and then 20 seconds ahead of his teammate. So yeah, speaking of his teammate, I know this is going to seem a bit weird, all things considered, but his teammate is getting a 9. Actually, no, I'm going to shift it to an 8, but it's going to be an 8 ahead of these two. I personally think, because this is over the whole weekend, it would be a 9 if he qualified better, which we all know Stroll's never been his strong point. But considering he got sent to the back of the grid and then worked his way back into the points, and you know there was no safety cars or anything to bring him back, I think he did a great drive. He's had to. That spin has cost him roughly the amount of time he would have lost to Alonso. Now, obviously, this isn't as good as his drive at Bahrain last year when he had a broken wrist, wasn't it? Or fractured. I don't remember exactly, but he's still done really well. And then next is Zhou Guan Yu. I think it's just going to be. It's really hard to rate because obviously he's 11th. But then you've got to consider compared to his teammate, who I think was ahead of him. I really don't remember when he had his pit stop. Like when it came to that round of pit stops, when obviously Bottas had a 50-second stop. Not his fault at all. It's just something happened with a wheel nut. And, you know, just to be outside the point in a car, which, let's be honest, a lot of people thought were going to be really slow. So I think 6 is fair, mainly because compared to his teammate, I don't know what it would be. If he got points, he'd be in the upper lot. Next up, we have Kevin Magnussen. Kevin Magnussen, I'm going to give a 5. Obviously, qualified much worse than his teammate. And obviously, he had a better race than his teammate because he didn't mess it up in the first corner of the first lap, which that was Hulkenberg's fault, the Stroll thing. So, yeah, you can't really. It's hard to judge in different circumstances because obviously Hulkenberg had to do an extra stop. Because I don't have the exact gaps between them, I think Magnussen had the better race. Hulkenberg's probably going to get the higher rating when we get to it, but that'll be for his qualifying related thing. Next up is these two. I don't remember where they qualified actually. Oh, that's not good. Hold on. I really don't remember where these two qualified. I remember it being close. No. Qualifying, thank you. Tsunoda was ahead. See, Tsunoda was ahead and in my eyes was better overall. But it's more of a that. Tsunoda should have been given the position back. He shouldn't have gone on a massive rant and whatever, and Ricciardo was keeping it. You know, he would, not being immature. He was being mature about the situation. Yuki was not. You can see why Yuki was annoyed. Yuki arguably had the chance to go ahead of Magnussen. And yeah, it's because he didn't work, they should have swapped. But that's all I'm really going to say on that. Obviously, it's not my job. It's the new bosses, which I hope he's ready for possibly more of that. Next up, we have Albon. He just, I don't know. I don't remember him doing anything. I'm going to just stick him in 5 because... What did he do? I don't remember seeing a single highlight involving him other than maybe getting lapped. And then next we have, is it this man? It is this man. This is, actually no, I'm going to give him a 4 because his qualifying may be great, but the main thing is the race and he threw it all the way in the first corner. He had a terrible start and then went into the back of Stroll. That's literally what happened. Couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, so he got penalised more than Stroll because he had to take the pit stop, which is probably why he didn't get a penalty. And how it was a typical first corner collision because obviously Bottas was right up him. And yeah, not much more to say than that. Now we got these two. These two are in. I'm going to give you a 5, you a 4. Mainly because Ocon was the better driver the whole weekend. But honestly, that Alpine is terrible. On how that is the worst Renault, and that 2016 Renault was bad enough when it was Palmer and Magnussen. Oh, terrible. Sorry for my vibrating phone. I apologise. Anyway, and then these two are a bit harder to do. Sargent's probably going to get a 4. And Bottas is probably going to get a... I might have to put... No, to be fair, Bottas lost out a lot because he was the kind of one who imprisoned Hulkenberg in... Yeah, so I think that's kind of fair. I might shimmy some of these down a bit but I can't give a quarter of the grid 4. So I've got to be like, hold on, we're going to have to do a bit of consideration here. Okay, I think Sargent needs a 3 because even though that thing was out of his control, you two can definitely stay there. I know that this is me being harsh because that means you have to come down here. Albon definitely has to be down here because he just vanished all weekend. Those two can stay there. You can stay there. You can stay. You can stay there. You stay there. You have to be up there. Yeah. I think this is going to be my genuine thing. I've probably been too harsh on Hulkenberg and Magnussen considering where the Haas is at. Oh, it's a tough thing to make. But in my eyes, if you know, a better race is better than a better qualifying, because obviously when it comes to sprint races and stuff, it's going to be a whole different thing to try. But yeah, obviously with no retirements and the race generally not being the most thrilling experience of all time, driver of the day should be him. I can see why he got it. It could have been him, and he's more a 9 because of a weekend performance. If it was just the race, it'd probably be Stroll in the 9, Russell in the probably 7 actually. Obviously Alonso's race, maybe he could be an 8. He's just these 3 are just chilling. He was more qualifying related because of the car thing. Because if he was just started second, finished second, that would just be probably an 8. I don't know if I can give a 9, depending because he was still like 20 seconds off. But yeah, that is my tier list for the Bahrain Grand Prix. I hope you... Well, if you don't agree, put your response in the comments. And I'll see you next week when we go to Saudi Arabia. Goodbye.